Okay, all right. We're starting it up, I believe. Yep, we're going. Okay, so I don't know what episode this is. I'm gonna place it about maybe 5 or 6. Clearly, this is a very organized situation. This is Kay Groft, and today I have a special guest. Very special in more ways than one. This is Steven.
Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Hi.
This is a buddy of mine. We work together at Santana Row. For those of you that are from the Bay Area, maybe the San Jose area. Mm-hmm. We both worked at Hotel Valencia, and now he's a big, bad Mr. Techie guy. So go ahead and tell him what you do. You don't have to tell him who you work for if you're afraid of that, like we talked about before.
Like Kay said, I'm Steve, and I work for a advertising agency that's based out of the Los Angeles area. And currently, I'm a contractor. It's complicated, but essentially, I'm a contractor doing work for the Big G, Google.
Ooh. Do you guys actually call it the Big G?
No.
No.
Oh, I just made that up right now.
Yeah. You have like Google terms, like the Google, not Googler, but what's
there's Googlers. New hires are called Nooglers.
Yeah, Nooglers. I think Porno and I may have talked about that in previous episodes.
And then there's actually, if you have a dog, they have a whole program where you like it.
Is it a Doogler?
It's a Doogler.
Oh my God, a Doogler.
And then when you leave the company, you're called an ex-Oogler or a Zoogler. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that.
Really?
But it's X-O-O-G-L.
I just thought they killed you. You have too many secrets.
Yeah, I've got people coming to the house right now.
Yeah, I've never met a Zoogler before in my life. But anyways, yeah. So what do you do exactly?
I build marketing websites, it's changed over the years. I've been there for about 3 years now. It's changed over the years, but I started doing essentially marketing web pages for various Google products. If there was a new Chromecast deal, $10 off or whatever, like we would be responsible for actually changing those prices, putting it up on Chromecast.com or whatever the website was. And then we switched over to another team where we did a little more internal support for various products. But again, this is all kind of marketing, surface level stuff. It wasn't like I was in there doing search engine algorithms right. Somebody be like, hey, my calendar broke, can you fix it? And I'm like, no, that's not that. I just like make shit pretty. So when you want to buy a new Chromecast, if it's a new pair.
I don't know how it works.
I don't do it. Obviously, like a lot of the core stuff like maps and search and stuff is handled by actual full-time employees.
Yeah.
FTEs, and I'm a TVC.
Right.
Temp vendor contractor.
Okay.
So we get the red badge.
Oh, the red badge. What do the color badges mean?
White is full-time, red is TVC, which means you're just sort of helping. And then there's like green and blue, but I forget what those are. It's like a special I don't know what they are. Essentially, if you see a green or blue, it's pretty rare.
You just laugh in their face.
No,
they're higher up.
From what I remember, it's like for example, like the green was like they're contracting you and you're like the fucking head of AI at God knows what.
Oh, really? Oh, so you're like a hardcore specialist?
Yeah,
something like that?
Yeah. But I forget what they are because it doesn't apply to me and I don't really care.
I only see red when I go in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just like the red shirts on Star Trek. They're in the background and nobody cares about them.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Okay, so let's talk about opinion. Let's start there first. Okay. And then, because those are the fun ones.
Yeah.
So, good or bad, I have no bias here. I'm just, a mouthpiece. But do you like the culture? Let's just start with Google specifically. Do you like the culture of Google? And then we'll broaden it to the Silicon Valley in general.
That's a good question. I don't have a whole lot of real any full-time experience, obviously. But just based on what I've seen, so let's go back to when I first started. It was very comforting in a way that, our boss was looking out for us and he had our backs. And I've seen multiple occasions where that was the case. Something happened or something fucked up or somebody fucked up, and there was actual real support there where it was, we're not just going to like shove you under the bus and be like, that was his fault. He did this. Right. There was, some camaraderie. But there were other times where I really actually didn't like it. It's kind of a bizarre place to work, to be honest, because you have people that are making upwards of $300,000-$400,000 a year. I'd say that the average is probably pushing $2.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things, and we talked about this off the record before, but it's just kind of bizarre to be at a place where the people that need the least get the most.
Oh yeah.
We're talking like on-call doctors. I think I don't know.
Yeah.
But I saw something and it was like, if you need a doctor, just go to this link and whatever. Or the free food and all that stuff, which is great because I've heard on kind of both sides of the spectrum where I've talked to somebody who doesn't work there and they're like, oh, they're just making you stay there so you don't leave, and they're trying to like ramp up your productivity. But at the same time, it's like, well, no. I mean, it's nice to just kind of skip out of the office and go get food. And I mean, I haven't gone grocery shopping in 6 months at least.
Yeah.
It's changed recently, but I mean, for the most part. But it's just kind of weird that people that get all the stocks and the health insurance and the crazy fucking benefits are just have it. They just don't need it.
Yeah,
as far as like healthcare and all this stuff,
and making the most. You mean in terms of they make the most money and yet they get the most benefits? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I mean, like somebody who makes $200,000 a year, right? And getting free food.
They don't need a lot of assistance, right?
And then there's like a smidge of entitlement that I've come in contact with, where there was one day pretty early on when I started there, and my boss was like, "Hey, I want you to meet." I forget his name. We'll just call him Bob. And I was like, "Hey, Bob, nice to meet you." And my boss was like, "Hey, Steve's pretty good at foosball or ping pong or whatever it was," which I'm not, but just you gotta
trying to
plug
jump
your shoulders.
Jump up.
And then there was a nice conversation, nice to meet you, see you around. And this guy worked in the same building as me, worked on the same floor, and then. About 2 weeks later, or a week later even, I passed him in the hallway, a very narrow hallway, and I was like, "Hey, Bob!" And he just walked right past me like I didn't know he existed. And I was like, "What the fuck, man?"
Fucking Bob.
I was like, dude, I mean, maybe he was, okay, at the same time, I was like, maybe he was preoccupied, maybe he was, worried about something, maybe he was on his way to fix a problem, like, I can't say for sure, but it was just like, there's times where it's like, you see the red badge, and you're just like, who the fuck
are you? Really? Oh, I see.
There's definitely like an echelon system. I mean, it's not that bad, I'm not trying to...
So he was a white badger, this guy.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to paint it in a bad light, but it's just like, there's definitely something where it's like, oh...
I see.
You're a red badge.
For sure. Oh, for sure.
But even at that, it's not like... Nobody's coming up to me and saying that, but it's like there's I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just like an insecurity thing. I don't know what it is, but it's like there's something about not being on the same level as some of these guys. But I will say on the flip side, there's been plenty of times too where full-time employees would say, "Hey, I want to give you a." There's like a thing where they can give you a kind of a thanks, professional thank you, and we're not privy to those. We can't actually accept those. So, they're like, "Hey, we wanted to thank you so much for all your hard work and da 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 da." But it turns out I didn't know this. You're a TVC and not an FTE, and I was like, "Yeah, it's it's not really listed. It kind of is, but not really." And so they were like, "Oh my god, I didn't know that, but thank you so much for all this stuff." So again, like you get these,
the good and the bad, for sure.
So
I see what you're
it's
saying.
just like if you're doing really good at work, and your boss comes up to you and says, "Kay, thank you so much for taking care of whatever it was." Right? Like back in the hotel days,
you get a little star.
CVS, go get some condoms or something.
Exactly.
And they'd be like, "Thank you so much for going out of your way."
Yeah.
But that was it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about other companies or whatnot, but here it's like it's like a monetary bonus.
Really?
Like,
I can see that.
It's like, thank you so much. Here's money, and it's like you're already getting paid $200,000 a year.
White badgers shouldn't get that.
What the
right.
fuck? Like,
that doesn't make any sense.
It's not even about like they should or they shouldn't. It's bizarre.
It should be for everyone. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not even saying that.
It should be out.
I'm just saying I'm not even saying it's like it should or shouldn't be. I'm just saying it's weird.
Yeah.
Because working at the hotel, making $12 an hour.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
In a place where
so
I couldn't afford. Rent was $16, $17, $18,
Yeah.
$2,000.
Right.
I couldn't fucking do it.
Of course.
And now it's somebody's making $200,000 and they get a good pat on the back at work and
Yeah,
they get an extra
$100
$100 bonus.
Yeah,
It's like what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
So
That's
I'm
fair.
not saying it's good or bad or it should or
Right.
shouldn't be. It promotes work and all that.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's just weird. That's what I'm saying. It's just bizarre.
I think it's in terms of what you're saying. It's probably bizarre because it should actually translate to other companies that actually should do that versus, or just not at all. I personally, it sounds like it would be nice to have that. You know what I mean? I can understand, like, unless that's like your only motivation to be a nice person, which would be really fucked up. But
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like and that was the annoying thing for us, like I actually loved working at the hotel. Like it was like a fun job, even though it was like, you know, you're kind of subservient to a certain extent. I still just, as a person, doesn't matter if there's like some old lady at the grocery store, I always ask if she's in front of me, like, I don't work here. Do you want me to help you carry this shit to your car? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's just who I am. And so it just translated super easily.
Are you that desperate?
Yeah, exactly. You can't run away from her. Yeah, no. So that's literally what it is. So,
even at that, like, okay, so like the exact opposite of that would be, you know, when we were at the hotel, there would be like the end of the year review stuff.
Right, yeah.
Which was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
Because like we'd get, you know.
Ended up, I got fired.
Well,
I'll talk about it.
There's probably other reasons.
No, dude, I was so good.
So, you know, the thing was like, you get like a 1 through 5 star rating, right? Mm-hmm. And getting a 4 was nearly impossible, and getting a 5 was literally impossible.
Yeah.
And then, so basically you were stuck with like between 3 and 4, so like a 3.2, 3.5.
Yeah, because it was always based on how much money you're going to get based off your score.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you got like a 3.1 average of whatever the fuck it was, then you got a 31 cent or 3.1% increase or something like that. Yeah. And it came to light that our one of the uppers was.
Are we trying to just avoid names? Is that what's happening right
now? Yeah. One of the uppers, it came out through a private conversation with somebody else that he was purposefully lowering those so he can get a bigger bonus.
Oh, him himself was going to get a bigger bonus?
Yes.
Oh, wow. He's mouthing a word to me, and I know it is.
Yeah.
Really?
So, so nobody ever got more than a 3.2 or 3.3.
Yeah, that's
because
horseshit.
She was like, you did go above and beyond, but...
See, no,
maybe not that far.
But that's what I'm saying. But like, it was such a vulgar like slap in the face because
it really was.
Because we knew that we were better than that for sure. And so when you're actually rating someone's performance, literally rating them, and then knowing that you're lowballing them for whatever purpose behind the scenes, but I mean, I just thought because they were cheap, I didn't know that somebody else was going to be making.
And I don't mean to derail, but like, I guess the whole point is like, it's just it's really bizarre to be in a position or be in a place to see where, you know, kings get knighted, I guess. You know, it's just surreal.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I get it.
Even after the 3 years that I've been there, whatever, it's just so bizarre to witness this because it's. I don't watch this show. I personally don't really like it. But there's that whole like Rick and Morty scene where he's like cloning himself and patting himself on the back. Stuff. It's like that meme or whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's good or bad or it should or shouldn't be. It's just it's very different from.
But see, that's exactly why I wanted you on the show. We're gonna call this a show, I guess. Is I mean, really, because those are the type of things where it's like the small nuances that, like, I mean, people have their pet peeves about Silicon Valley, but it's like the small things that, and that's what I mean about the culture itself. Is like it feels like it's almost the culture themselves patting themselves on the back. It's just like, oh, you're special. This is what's going on here. You know what I mean, nonstop.
You know, and to take a quick tangent, it's some of the products that come out of Silicon Valley that the rest of the world fucking laughs at, like the Juicero, right, which is like a $600 juicing machine, and somebody found out that, you know, their claims of it, you know, 2 tons of pressure to get the most whatever, blah, blah, blah. You can squeeze the bag with your hands. You know, and a lot of companies invested tons of money in that. And then there was another one recently, I think it was Jack Dorsey or something, but he had like a raw water thing where it's like, it's good for you and it's got all the bionutrients and stuff, but it was literally just like unpasteurized tap water.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, at what point do you just step back and say, you know what, this might be a little too much?
Yeah.
Or misleading, or maybe, I don't know. It's just
a long con. It's like
it's not even a con, but it's just a really dumb fucking idea.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. But it's like everybody's trying to make the next big thing. In reality, they're just stripping things down to like, it's not necessarily organic form, but it's just like, well, maybe let's just back it up and just try to sell this at its base.
Yeah, it's like I could dig the dirt out of my garden right now, or not garden, but I would say the big patch of dirt outside.
That won't grow anything.
And sell it as like organic.
You could say dirt from Silicon Valley. I'm sure people will eat that shit up.
Fuck yeah, dude! Based on the housing prices these
100%.
days, that dirt is going to be worth $500 per cubic inch.
Exactly. Okay, pause.